slide that's indoors. And the reason for having this center is this indoor playground is to provide a place for them, especially in inclement weather, for them to still be able to do this gross motor movement. And obesity is an issue that's just continuing to grow bigger and bigger with children. So this is one way that we see that we can try to help keep children active, even when it's a day that, typically, sometimes it can be weeks that we have bad weather, whether it's ice in the playgrounds or what have you. So this is a really cool space, about 600 and something square feet.
Wow.
That's available to kids to be able to play.
Boy.
And we have lots of indoor and outdoor sports that we can play in that room.
Awesome, awesome. So you got my attention when you said an indoor playground. Would you say, is that one of the things that makes you stick out from other centers that are in the area?
I would say so. I don't think in the Davis Square area I'm aware of any other center that actually has an indoor playground. So we feel very blessed to be able to have that type of space available.
And that's something that stands out, and it's something that you know your child is going to be active.
Absolutely.
So when the weather, like you said, when the weather is bad outside, you know that your child is still going to get some physical activity,
Absolutely.
which needs to start as young as birth, to be on the floor, to be able to move around. But now to have this space, once you learn how to crawl and walk, now to have this space to use your gross motor, your large gross, to climb, but even better, to build connection with the other students.
Absolutely.
Because that's another huge piece of being around other children and giving that space, provided space to explore, expand, and connect with each other, and sharing all the things that help you develop to be a better student in life, a better person, actually.
Sure. In fact, kindergarten programs tend to want all children to be socially ready. And so exposure to those type of social experiences are pivotal for them to be prepared to learn. So if they get all of that much experience throughout all the classrooms, by the time they're ready to go to kindergarten, they're really ready to be a great student.
That's awesome, awesome. What would you say when you think? What made you want to decide to open up your own center? Like what was you passionate about? What happened to you that said, you know what, I really need, this is what needs to happen. This needs to be a part of my life.
Well, I think for me, it's having no limit to how much we can grow. So in my mind, I really, especially since, I have created a Christian learning environment too, I really want to make sure that we're always keeping up and exceeding best practices. But sometimes when you are owned by somebody else, they're looking at the bottom line, they're looking at the financial pieces, So if I want to have a puppet show, for example, and, the person who owns the company doesn't want to spend the money on it because they don't really understand why it's important, then that can be a restriction. So for me, it's to keep on being able to create and produce more quality at the pace that I think that we can. It is also the ability to infuse the program with more enrichment than is typically available. I'm in my private life, I'm a choir director. I mean, I've never been a trained musician, but God gave me a special gift. So I can actually use this gift for all the classrooms to have the kids get exposed even more to music and music appreciation and instruments and all of those things. So I have the freedom to just be flexible and try on new things. I mean, we have a great program that we partner with called Playful Tunes, and they provide instruments of all kinds for children to just be able to play with. So they can play with violins, they can play with stringed and wind instruments. They have all sorts of cool things that they have available. And it's just a pleasure to be able to just, if you see something that you think a kid would really enjoy learning about, you can just bring it in, and you have no restrictions, except for, what you're capable of doing,
That is beautiful. And you think about the power of music and how it actually develops. When you look at students who play instruments from the time they were able to hold an instrument, and their development in so many areas is definitely different from a student who wasn't exposed to that.
Absolutely.
So you are expanding the brain in areas that is not usually done if they're not exposed to that aspect of the music. And that's where I get so excited about, because I know how powerful it is for a young person who has been exposed to music to deal with them at a level that A2Z talent deals with them. It shows them so much growth in so many different areas. And when they start to get teenagers, you see them maturing, you see them being able to teach other students instruments because they had that exposure and they know how powerful it is because of their personal experience. So looking at your curriculum, how much of your curriculum would you say is considered play and music, knowing the importance of play and music?
Well, play is kind of central to all of our curriculum in a way, because what we do is we use play as a tool to teach. So even when we're exposing them to new information, the teachers are constantly trying to think of how they can present that information so that it's fun. You know, so this is for most children, it's their first learning experiences at school. And so it's really important for us to have them always have a good time learning, so that learning becomes something that they look forward to. So that when they go to future schools, they're going to be looking forward to that experience as well. So play is definitely central to how we execute our curriculum. So it's not so much that it's just one factor in the curriculum. It's more so that it's the tool that we use to express the curricular piece. Music is folded in many ways. Not only do we make sure that they're singing and dancing when they do circle time, when they're learning something specific, but we also include performance in our program. So we can have Christmas pageants, and what we do is we allow the children to take on even acting roles, singing roles. You know, some kids are shy, so they don't want to do, stand out, but they will play an instrument or they will sing along with the whole group. They might do the carols at the end with everyone. To be honest with you, when the time comes for the actual performance, whatever happens, we just go with the flow. So you might have Mary, but Mary might decide that she is not doing anything in front of the whole group that day. So you kind of have a teacher go alongside her, or you ask another student if they want to go in place. But in general, they get an opportunity to try on performance multiple times during the year. Every year I have a gospel concert. Actually, one's coming up really soon at Grace Chapel, April 29th. And usually I have the children open up the show. So we will teach them over the course of, say 4 weeks at the school, a simple song that they can add. And then they get to perform in front of a huge audience of people who appreciate what they're doing and clap and make them feel really good about being on stage, So it's really kind of special to be able to have moments throughout the year. And then for the end of year ceremonies, we also like to display what it is that the children like the most throughout the year, and that usually involves music. They usually have a favorite song or 2 or 3 that they want to do. So we go by their lead, and then we have them perform in front of their parents and grandparents, whatever it is their favorite aspects of the program were for that year. So it could be music plus writing their own storybook, or it could be many things, but whatever it is that is their favorite, we try to close the year out with.
That is extremely awesome. The fact that you're giving them that independency to choose what they like, and you're not saying, well, I heard you sing, so you're a singer and you're going to perform this.
Right.
Or I seen you act, I hear you speak very well, or and you're pushing them in the areas that you think that but they're getting the opportunity to choose. And the power in that, and the self-esteem and the self-confidence that it develops, it's amazing how when they're given those opportunities, how much they want to are encouraged to do other things in life as well. So you're creating an atmosphere and an environment where, like I said, you're not just creating a student, but a member of society that could explore, expand, and have that courage to achieve anything that they want to achieve, because it starts with them that young. And exposing them to anything possible, as long as they're being safe, that exposure can turn into
It's great.
can turn into a lifetime of success, as we already know as educators. Now, when you talk about your teachers, and we talk about the fact of teachers have to have certain compassion, they have to, because being a teacher and being around other teachers, I know certain things that I look for, that I want within myself in order to be able to teach. What are some of the things that you look for, and as you look, because I know you're going to be seeking staff. I'm not sure if you're already looking to hire staff, but what are some of the things that you're looking for with your background experience from the things that you saw? What are some of the things that you're looking for, some of the characteristics or skills that you're looking for?
Well, first of all, I think for this age group, I want somebody that exudes warmth. You know, I mean, it might seem like it's not the first place to start, but if you can just look at someone and when they talk, they're nice and bubbly, they're warm, and you can tell your child will feel so nurtured by that personality. You know, the child is not as afraid to approach someone who has a very warm personality. Of course, for our environment, I really would like all the lead teachers in our environment to have a professional degree. It's important because I think it helps them to have the broadest view of what the needs are, but also what the possible problems could be. So sometimes when you're limited to just, say, one class or something in child development, you misinterpret why a child behaves as they do, right? So you might think that this child is just being disrespectful or naughty or what have you because he's not listening and running around the classroom. But you might not really understand that maybe it's the way the classroom is set up, right? That creates too much open space, and so that's an invitation to run, you know, kind of thing. So I think it's important to me to have at least one person in the classroom that has studied many aspects of child development and growth, so that they're able to mentor the junior teachers who might not have as much exposure and give more understanding as to, and investigate more instead of, you know, there are some environments where, you know, they want, you know, people kind of blame the child, you know, always looking at your craft first and saying, okay, what can I do differently to help this particular child? You know, our jobs really is to kind of expose the uniqueness in every child, right? We have to be good observers. We have to see what emerges from them naturally. And you need that type of skill set to be able to observe well, document, and be able to kind of encourage what comes naturally for each child. So I think someone who really has taken the time to study their craft is really important. And third, I would say character, in terms of just who you are as a person. There's some things you cannot teach someone,
Yes,
you know?
definitely.
You either love kids or you don't. No, I shouldn't say that. You can kind of like kids, but if you love kids, you just love kids. So you have to love kids in order to deal with the times where it's difficult, right? Because then you won't have the patience that you need. You won't have the compassion. You won't see the beauty of that child in their worst moments. Do you know what I mean? Because as adults, we have bad moments, right? But it takes somebody who loves you unconditionally to put up with your bad moments. If a teacher doesn't naturally connect in love and fall in love with children, they don't feel that sense of obligation necessarily to put up with or be unconditionally loving. So, you know, making sure that it's not just a job and it's a passion for someone, it's a career path that gives pleasure to a teacher is really profound for me.
Definitely, and it's so important to be passionate, not just about teaching, but about anything that you feel like you have mastered, or you feel like it's a huge part of you. And when you're changing lives, because teachers are not usually given the credit that they deserve, financially, you know, economically, and just in the field as a teacher, you're not respected, but you're changing lives. You're creating, you're building lives, and you're changing lives. So to be able to be passionate and to understand what you're doing is major key. Is a major key, because you could be warm and kind and still tend to the children, but when you're passionate, you're really striving to get them to the next stage as much as possible, and you're willing to go over and beyond. And I can say, someone as a special ed teacher who worked with a lot of children that have behavior needs, you have to be passionate to deal with the rough times. And a very important thing is checking out your environment. First, check within yourself, and then the environment that the child is being exposed to, but also studying the child is so
Yes,
important
I
too.
think
Taking the
that's
time
really
to really build connection and relationship
Yeah, I
with
think
that
that's number
child
one.
is
I
the
would
key,
say
because
that's the best way to start. If you have a really good rapport with that child will want to please you.
definitely
Children don't want adults to be mad with them,
so
right?
true.
But if you don't take the time to really get to know them or like them, or if they don't think that you like them, then they're not going to try to please you because they're mad at you. You know, they want so much to be loved by you, you know. So if you just start out from the bat being, you know, like um, someone who's there as their, not their adversary, but somebody who is there as their helper, you know, and that they really understand that you're trying to help them through what it is that they're going through, they'll calm down for you, and you'll be able to talk it through with them, and you'll be able to reassure them in those
And
times.
that is fact. And I tell people that all the time. Once you connect with them, they do want to please you, and they want to connect with you, but they have to feel that connection, that you care,
Yeah,
and
they
that
need to,
you re-
and you need to be safe,
and
right?
that
You
you
need to feel
respect
safe.
them, you respect their family, you respect their community. And once a child feels like that, you can get them to really do anything that you want them to do. Once they know that they're safe with you, and they know that you really truly care, and that doesn't matter what age.
Yes, I agree
Doesn't
with
matter
that.
what age.
I agree with that.
So it's very important. Now, what made you actually not only start your center, but what other programs did you actually assess, and which ones did you actually decide to add into your center?
So one of the programs that I would say that was pivotal for changing my view of how learning could take place was Elliott Pearson, where I actually was an assistant teacher at the time, because I come from a system in Jamaica that's a little different, where you know you just have a teacher, a blackboard, you do what the teacher tells you to do all day. Not it's I'm simplifying it, but you know we had a good experience, but we didn't have as much fun all the time with learning, you know. And then I went into this environment when I was a student, and I saw the kids working with their hands, playing with not just Play-Doh, but clay, making things, you know, creating gardens, all these things that they were fabulous things for a child to do, to enjoy to do. But it was still educating them and giving them skill sets that they can use in the future. So I think that started a journey for me, a turning point for me in terms of how practice happened. You know, where my kids go to school, you know, I also, they're in an elementary age and middle school, but I notice details, attention to details. But I think more than anything else for me, what drove me into this area had more to do with, you know, being a child myself, being a little bit more on the stressed side in my childhood sometimes, and um, seeing the opportunity to create environments where children don't have to experience stress is something that means something to me, because I remember how it felt, you know, to go home or to, you know, feel like, you know, you had to deal with more than a child should be worried about, kind of thing.
It's, you know, it's always how we look at our personal experiences and how we try to study our personal experiences sometimes, so other people won't have to go through some of the things that we've been through. And it's a learning experience, and you learn from it, and being able to provide the center where you can actually keep that in mind. Like, I want a very least stressful environment as much as possible
Right.
due to
Right.
what you're doing. So that's a blessing that you can actually go back into your childhood and remember that and say, you know what, if anything else, I want it to be as least stressful as possible.
That's right.
And that's something that the parents are going to respect, the children are going to respect, because our level of stress now in society is extremely high. And our children that are around us are taking in our stress and it becomes their stress because energy is very powerful.
Right.
And they can feel the power of, as soon as you greet them, if you're going to have a good day or a bad day.
Right.
So that right there is so important. Um,
And I don't think parents even know that they're transferring the burden to their child or children. I don't think it's conscious,
mhm.
but because now I know as an adult, it's really good sometimes to go through bad things or um, things that you would change because you wouldn't have a reason to change it had you not had that experience.
Definitely, definitely. So I think for me, I'm very, like I said, we connect very easily because when you talk about education, our young people, even starting from infants all the way up, and the fact that you are taking initiative to start your own, and that's a huge piece that we want to make sure we spread to our youth too. The importance of
Yes.
finding what is value to you, what it means to you, and going. Because I know it's not easy to actually develop something like that, but you have the passion for it. So the passion and the energy is going to guide you in the right direction. So I want to know how, looking at other centers and then looking at your center, what do you what do you feel like is your main purpose of having your own center?
I think for me, it's being able to give as much love as we can, alongside with the exposure to um, the spiritual development aspect that's not common anymore. And I feel like we're robbing children of the opportunity to have a resource that is available to them when they don't have anybody else around. And I feel like it's important to start early, to let children know about prayer, to let them know that, if they're ever in trouble, they can um, call call on God as well, to help them. So I think what's kind of unique for us is, people talk about developing the whole child all the time, but to me, a child's spirit is a part of who they are, and that's what's missing out of this whole child concept. If you don't attend to a child's spirit, you're not really, in my mind, attending to the whole child. So I think um, my having my own center, it allows me to do that, to add the spiritual development component in a very organized a way, in the sense that we have specific goals for the children's spiritual development: to learn the love of God or Jesus, to learn the love of other people, and to also learn thankfulness and love for their world that they're in charge of taking care of. We don't have to do anything beyond that. We don't have to do anything controversial. It's just giving children a base that it's very satisfying for them, actually, to be able to, when they're upset or something, to be able to pray. It's amazing to see. And we start off with, giving them choices with like little songs, prayer songs. We have a Superman prayer. We have a Johnny Appleseed. And they get to choose. It's not like we're kind of still following their lead a little bit with a little guidance. So we teach them some songs. Whoever is the prayer helper for the day, they choose which prayer they want. But it's interesting, as they get older, sometimes they choose to say a prayer. And when you hear a little kid praying about world issues that you would not even believe they are worrying about, hungry people, you wouldn't even believe the things that children pray about. It's beautiful. It reduces me to tears almost every time, because they are actually listening to what's going on around them, and it really is mattering to them.
And they're tapping into their spirituality to see their power and how they can impact somebody else's life, and
Yes.
not only that, impact their own life and release some of their stress before it even comes to them. And then saying something out loud, prayer, meditation, all that comes, the energy all comes into place, and being able to say that out loud connects with somebody else. So now you're actually healing and you don't even know it, because when if we start praying right now, the power of your spirituality is going to move me in a direction
Yes,
that
it
I
is
may not even
infectious.
be able in tune to, I may
Right,
not even be
right,
in tune
right.
to my, so to know that when you're young and little is so powerful, because imagine the change you're going to be able to make when you get older,
Yeah, I
and
certainly hope
and
so.
having that faith in your spirituality, and then bringing other people together from your spirituality is a powerful thing.
And the self-expression that comes um, from them, like I like the fact that they get to pray about anything they want to, really, so I think it's teaching them to express themselves on a different level.
Mm, so true, so true. And that's the thing, being able to express yourself in a different level. And like you said, adding in the music piece, the different chants and songs that they're gonna, and that helps them. The music piece is something that is gonna be fun for them. They're gonna love the experience. They're gonna love to actually be able to learn a song, sing it, bring it home, share it with their friends,
Right,
and
right.
connect again with people through the chants, the songs, and the most powerful thing with that is being able to, with your experience as a gospel singer, as a gospel choir leader, you already know how you can move people through the music. So being able to pass that on to our young people is extremely powerful, and I'm very glad that you're adding that piece, a
Thank
big
you.
piece of you, a big piece of the world, of society, in their lives at an early age. And that's something that people who are watching, and who, if you're looking for an educational center, this is where you want to go. She's giving you the whole circumference of what's going to make a child whole. And that's what we need. Because there's a lot of centers out there, but if you're not in tune to all the things, and you're not offering all the things that make us a whole person, what is it really? It ends up just being a building with some learning activities, some music here, some play here. But when you're talking about spirituality, that changes. It really does. It
It really
changes the
can. It really
environment,
can.
and it changes their exposure and what you're going to expose them to, and the mind state that they're going to leave
Right.
every day with.
Right. And I know that there's a lot of great work happening in Somerville and the centers all around. There's
Of
no
course.
doubt about it. But I just feel like children need to have more resources, not less. So I'm just happy, and
Nowadays.
that I know spirituality meant a lot for me when I was stressed as a child, and that really helped me being in my mind and being able to have
Mm-hmm.
conversations through my mind really kind of helped to bring me a little bit of peace. So I'm just happy that I can actually be able to gift that to another child to use, if they need it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I would like to also, say that when you're thinking about an educator, a parent, community, the things that are highly necessary to be successful in life, to be healthy, mentally, physically, and emotionally healthy, all the things that you are going to have at your center are the things that we need. And
Thank
that's
you.
a very huge blessing for you to be exposed in the world, to know the importance of it, and to bring it out. What are some of the things that you would like the community to reach out and help with?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I think right now the biggest thing for me is just to let people know that I'm here, because I'm kind of tucked away behind Community Baptist Church. The
Mm.
building is right behind there, so I'm not really on the main road.
Mhm.
So, just getting the word out that, we're here, come and see us. We're at 10 Winslow Avenue in Somerville, and come see the space, see if you like it, Also, I would love to partner with some of the community organizations to do different things in the future. We're right beside a senior building. I have to find out from EEC if I can do it, but I'd love to do some intergenerational things.
Of course.
Right now, I've been so fortunate to have one of our local artists, Jane Murphy, has done
Mm.
some paint painting with some of us, to teach us how to paint. I'd love to make that intergenerational soon and have them come into the classroom, or maybe after school is all out. We can do something where families come together and we paint or do cooking together. I'd love to do expand the services after school too, to include some intergenerational things so that children who, let's say, and also it could help with, let's say, if a child doesn't have a father figure around and we're doing something that involves the whole family, they can interact with somebody else's father. Or, if somebody doesn't have a grandparent anymore, if we're doing an intergenerational thing, then another grandparent can read them a story. So I like community. I like building community. So, I would say if there are opportunities to do things with that can connect us as people, in some way that's safe for children, or even if it's just for the parents, maybe the parents need, and I will ask the parents, what do you need to know about the most? It might be financial planning. It might be, I don't know what the families need until I ask them. But being able to support families to stay together is one thing that's very important to me. I know that, services to, providing therapy and stuff for families who need it is very expensive. So I'm trying to keep my mind open to whatever is needed once the families are telling me what it is that they need. And then I'm going to be reaching out, to the community to say, okay, do you know anyone who would be willing to come in and do a presentation on this or that?
Wow. See, that's another excessive key. Like, that's extremely big, to find out how you can connect with the community. Because without the family, it starts at home first. It starts with the family first. So providing those resources to the family, how that's going to empower that student. And that's so important. And being able to have activities that the child can see. My parents are involved in my academics and my school since very young. That's going to change their whole perspective when they get into the older grades, how important their parents and the difference that it makes when the parents. I used to love when parents get involved and come into the school and sit and read to their child, or come after school and do events, art, like you said, art. What ways to bring family together is still educating, and that's and changing and building community, because without those things, it makes everything so difficult. And without the connection, and that's what we're about, making the right connections and getting our students, our young people, where they need to be. I'm very, very excited for you.
Thank you so much.
I'm very excited for you. I'm very happy as well. It sounds like something that I would love to be a part of. And if people are out there in the community that would like to learn more, please stop by. Give us the address again.
That's 10 Winslow Avenue, and it's right behind Community Baptist Church, which is 31 College Avenue. So if you just go right behind that building, you'll see us.
Awesome. Do you have an open house coming up by any chance, or any dates for an open house?
Just call. I'll give you my phone number. Call me for a personal tour. We've been having open houses, but we haven't had as many people coming through, so we decided anyone who wants to come, we'll give you a personal tour. So our number is 617-433-1743. That's 617-433-1743.
Awesome. So the community out there, I definitely want you to go and see the space, check it out, bring your children, so that they can see the space, because seeing the space is very important as well. I'm pretty sure Miss Stacy will be open to any suggestions, ideas from anybody in the community. So let's please come out and support her on this great adventure that she's being so bold and brave and taken. And I already see the success stories already. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Awesome,
really appreciate it.
Job. So I just have one more question, or maybe two. How can parents, not just in your center, but what some points can you give to parents on how to get more involved in their children's academics?
I think I would say because children watch more so what you do than what you say, if you're not involved, it just may communicate to them that it's not that important to you. You know, even if you say it's important, if they don't see it in what you're executing, they might not believe you. So I would say try to use it as an opportunity, not so much to be in a battle over homework and so on, but use it as an opportunity to have one-on-one time with your children to just connect. You know, because sometimes, you know, our lives are so busy with work and so on that the precious little time you have after work, you know, you're so busy with chores and getting dinner and all of that, but kind of try to see if you can set aside. And I'm the same, you know, I have the same struggle. You know, I'm not great at doing it at home sometimes myself, but to try and put away a little bit of time to just have one-on-one conversations with your children, so that they know that they can count on, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, where it's just their time, but keep it as if to say it's a date, you know, so that your child, as they grow older, will know that they can always download on you. Let's say they're keeping it all together. Some kids are having, it's really hard for them to keep still and keep focused all day long, you know, and they don't want to be, um, you know, encased anymore by the time they get home, and they just need to download, you know, and try to just allow them to tell you what they're thinking, the way they're thinking it, even if it doesn't seem quite appropriate, the way they're saying it. Allow them a little bit of that, just to download, just like an adult. You know, when you're really angry or what have you, you have that opportunity. You kind of have to vent first, and then you collect your thoughts and you think of a better way to say it. Allow kids the opportunity to do that, dump on you a little bit, and then flip the script a little bit, encourage. You know, if they're having a hard time, just keep encouraging. I think we are programmed as adults, I don't know when it starts, to highlight the negative, you know? And I think one of the things, and I learned this more so from a really great teacher, is to be intentional about highlighting the positives rather than giving more attention to the negative behaviors or what have you of your children. It doesn't even have to be a behavioral issue. If it's something that you have to do together, and it's something that they have to do and they don't really want to do, highlight the positives in them making the effort to still get it done because they know that it is important, or because you have asked them to. Just try and find things to compliment your children in a very authentic way, so that the scales are balanced, so that they're not just hearing all this negative stuff, and so you can build their self-esteem through any experience.
Again, so at a show in the past, we were talking about the power of positive energy and the importance of giving positive energy, positive reinforcement. All that comes about. So if you can actually start that when they're little, you're actually teaching them the importance of being a positive thinker, because we know what you think here comes out here. So if you're able to have positive thoughts and positive thoughts are being poured into you, and positive compliments, positive enforcement is being poured into you, you're going to give that back because it makes you feel good. And that's the importance of how do we make ourselves feel good so we can give that and spread it out to not just our community but to the world.
Yeah.
So it's a huge piece, and I think that's very important that parents hear that. Like, this is, I don't have all the answers, but I know this piece is important, and this is one piece that can help. And like you said, our lives are busy, and I think society puts so much negativity in our view that all we can sometimes see is just the negative things. So having that,
Modeling positivity,
exactly,
literally, right?
and modeling is a huge piece in parenting, teaching, living,
Right,
because
right.
someone's always watching you. So that's a huge, and having the right ones to model that,
Right.
and people that really have the same views as you. And I think that's something that's going to be important when you're looking for staff. Now,
Right.
can you actually tell us, I think an important piece, what positions are you actually hiring for, so people can reach out in regards to that as well?
Sure. I'm both lead teacher and assistant teachers, but mostly I'm trying to find lead teachers right now, who preferably have a bachelor's degree in early childhood or a related field, and experience in the field as well, and who's comfortable with a Christian environment, and who loves children.
Awesome, awesome. So she's looking for lead teachers. So if you're out there and you're interested and you want to be a part of this great movement that Miss Stacy has created, please give her a call. The number is
617-433-1743.
So please come drop by and ask questions. Are you going to be looking for any assistance as well?
Yes, we'll be looking for assistance as well, for each classroom. So we want to have 2 teachers per classroom and a floater. So right now we're going to start off with a mixed infant toddler room and a preschool room. And we're also looking for additional, we have a lot of infants right now. We're looking for some more toddlers and some more preschool students.
Awesome.
We have space now for infants.
So what's
toddlers.
I have 2 questions. I know 2 more. What's your teacher-child ratio?
So for infants, it's 1 to 3, toddlers 1 to 4, and the required for preschool, which goes through 5, is 1 in 10, but we tend to like about 1 in 6, thereabouts, because things just happen so quickly with children, that it feels better to have a little bit more staff than that.
Now, within the whole facility, how many students can you have in there at one time?
I think it's about close to 70, but we're not starting out that big. We're going to start out, as I say, with those 2 classrooms, and then we're going to organically expand as needed, and just make sure that everything, we get everything established before we start getting too big.
And so now you're accepting applications.
Yes, we
for
both the infant toddler room and the preschool pre-K room.
Do you have like a website or anything?
Yes, actually. We www.kingdomrockcvforchildrensvillage.org.
Awesome. So community out there, please reach out. The information is there. Stop by. It's imperative. Spread the word. First, come and check out the environment. Check out the atmosphere. As you can see, as you can hear, that it's going to be a great opportunity. And that's someone who has been teaching for a long time and who taught from preschool to high school. I know the importance of reaching out to a child from birth. From the time that the mom decides to make that decision to bring her child to a center, the importance of interaction is. So knowing that, let's just say that we're in a very great place right now for a center like this, where everything's going to be poured in and embraced into your child. So you definitely need to check it out. Support. Definitely, I want to say it's a blessing and thank you and an honor to have you.
Thank you. It's my honor.
I think we're in for a huge treat in Somerville. So again, thank you for taking the energy and sometimes it's time consuming. You take away from your own to create for others. So that right there is a huge plus as well, that you're thinking about, and not only are you thinking, you're putting it in place and making things happen. Because we can think things, we can say we want to do it, but when you take the energy to make it happen, it's amazing. So I admire you for that. Definitely awesome job. And thank you again for coming on to Somerville Live, SCAT TV. It was a blessing having you.
Thanks for having me.
It's for the gray. To Scott. What if hip-hop never existed? Do you think there'd be as many people screaming now, stop snitching? What if Adam and Eve ain't eat the fruit? You think we'd be able to see the truth? eyebrows, say la vie, but living to make you cry out. What if? What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed your route to the road we on? I don't know. What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed your route to the road we on? If Malcolm X survived all them shots that hit him, you think he stopped fighting for black equality and start killing? What if the government told the truth instead of abortion? The cigarettes and other evil kingdoms didn't endorse them. If Bill Gates was another abortion, you think artists would make more than this minuscule portion? What if them 9/11 flights they leave from Boston and Bart didn't take Oscar Grant from his daughter? What if French couldn't speak from that shot to the dome? Who you think would be on hooks if Max B was home? What if there was no such place as McDonald's or BK? You think more dudes would look like Arnold? If Mike Jackson never joined the five, you think he'd still be misunderstood or hurting inside? What if Big L got clapped but he survived? Or 50 Cent got shot 9 times and then he died? What if blacks didn't get locked on the rag? Matter of fact, what if Jordan was born with no legs? What if Satan and God ain't have beef? You think maybe this earth would be at peace? At least try to see what it could have been. It hurts sometimes seeing what it should have been. But we write our own stories, time is money. And it's costing me cause every second alters the future. Live cautiously. What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed your route to the road we on? I don't know. What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed your route to the road we on? I don't know. What if hip-hop never existed? Do you think there'd be as many people screaming out, stop snitching? What if Adam and Eve ain't eat the fruit? You think we'd be able to see the truth? Or what if Albert Einstein didn't think of the nuke? Or Smith & Wesson didn't teach us to shoot? Do you think there'd be as many plays made if there was no boost? Matter of fact, what if white men hung off a noose? Would it still be cool to say nigga? Or maybe we would make 6 figures? Or would we wanna be crackers? And all the whites would be rappers. What if Martin Luther King survived? You think FEMA's response to Katrina would've caused him to drop and die? I wonder what if and see what is. Stand back from the picture and ask yourself why? What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed your route to the road we on? I don't know. What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed your route to the road we on? Hold on. If Mitt Romney won the election instead of Obama, you think crowds would still be blamed on the press? Be honest, you think those cops would be gone as if that officer ain't choose to lay hands on Eric Garner? What if my Uncle Az was raised in the burbs? You think I would've stayed home instead of play on the curb? If Christopher Wallace never got murked, how much money would Sean Carter be worth? What if Tupac never got hit with the flame? Would the game still have change filled with these lames? What if Trayvon Martin walked down another street? What if them shots Malcolm sent never hit Zeke? Pipe down, what if them bullets missed Mike Brown? Or them Boston bombers didn't hit my town? The powers that be will raise an eyebrow, say la vie, but living to make you cry out. What if? What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed your route to the road we on? I don't know. What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed your route to the road we on? If Malcolm X survived all them shots that hit hit him, you think he stopped fighting for black equality and start killing? What if the government told the truth instead of abortion? The cigarettes and other evil kingdoms didn't endorse them. If Bill Gates was another abortion, you think artists would make more than this minuscule portion? What if them 9/11 flights they leave from Boston and Bart didn't take Oscar Grant from his daughter? What if French couldn't speak from that shot to the dome? Who you think would be on hooks if Max B was home? What if there was no such place as McDonald's or BK? You think more dudes would look like Arnold? If Mike Jackson never joined the five, you think he'd still be misunderstood or hurting his side? What if Big L got clapped but he survived? Or 50 Cent got shot 9 times and then he died? What if blacks didn't get locked on the rag? Matter of fact, what if Jordan was born with no legs? What if Satan and God ain't have beef? You think maybe this earth would be at peace? At least try to see what it could have been. It hurts sometimes seeing what it should have been. But we write our own stories, time is money. And it's costing me cause every second alters the future. Live cautiously. What if life wasn't all that you thought?
What if?
What if everything you knew was gone?
What if?
What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think it changed the route to the road we on?
I don't know.
What if life wasn't all that you thought?
What if?
What if everything you knew was gone?
What if?
What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think it changed the route to the road we on?
I don't know. Yeah. See, we all on this planet with a gift and a purpose. You'll never acquire true success until you learn those elements and follow through with the reason for being here. My destiny won't let me lose. I was born to lead. My destiny won't let me choose. This is why I breathe.
P goods, yeah, I'm product on the scale. It's Mr. Smooth Flow bars like a jail shit. I'm the ace card, when can I ever fail, kid? Track spin like Sonic, but I'm on like Tails tip. I keep it flying, I guess, cause I'm higher up. Give them reason to hire us, but we play by our rules, and that's reason to fire us. I'm from the beam where haters stressing the pettiest. Difference between who lives or dies is who's the readiest. I'm a beast you've been sleeping on, not the one you'll be creeping on. Battle to the top, in the hills looking steep and long. I got smoke like Cheech and Chong, still a focus on beats and songs. Watch me shake it up and make noise as if I'm beating gong. Get it cooking, these other chefs just be eating wrong. Dry sense of humor, the type of fella you leave alone. I hang like Euro, great like Britain, so I don't need to roam. I'm a pro with the tools, it's logic, I get my reason on.
My destiny won't let me lose. I was born to lead. My destiny won't let me choose.
It's funny how that happened.
This is why I
stand on 2 feet, baby. Check me out.
Project Free Lunch and P. Ryan and Modella.
Yeah.
Mama know I sold dope, I ain't have to tell her. In the belly of the beast, fighting police for peace. Quick to hate me cause I'm from these streets. No matter how major the pain, I won't crack. I'm nothing like my Uncle Tracy, he love crack. Tragic love story, bro, well dig this. I won't stop living my dreams, I can't quit. I gotta pay my Tyrio back for how he raised me. Bro made me face the facts, boy, like crazy. One thing about Stu Lee, he go hustle. You do good business with me, I get muscle. Living in a world full of haters and demons, and it's funny how our country got us pledging allegiance. I grind to get my family cups that runneth over. I pray I do the whole South good, we still coming.
My destiny won't let me lose. I was born to lead. My destiny won't let me choose. This is why I breathe. mission ain't worth them spitting. No riches yet, but I live it. These pictures scripted are vivid. You getting game cause I give it. Now I think more exquisite. Who is it that brings a blizzard much colder than fridges? Cause life's shorter than any midget. Can he get it is what they be asking without a ration. As if you can't see the passion behind all of the classics. Hating is not my fashion. Scatter my foes like fractions. Fakes have statements retracted. It's sickening like AIDS contracted. Shuffle through dirt like tractors. Grind through the hurt cause matter of fact is that it's a factor to being the greatest rapper. Scientist, singer, artist, or doctor. No matter what your life is about. Keep that eyes on the prize. Can nothing stop you. On your hustle, gotta struggle. Be humble and pop up. Out the book like a pop-up. And on display now it's locked up. Like a prisoner. Life's a prison with vision. I fly with wind beneath my wings. Cause I'm a winner in my destiny. My destiny won't let me lose. I was born to P. Goods, Boston, Massachusetts. Three's up. It's my city.
It's my city, I'm rapping until I'm gone. People in the streets, they hustle until it's dawn. Keep your spirits up, my family stands strong. Push it to the limit, we're taking it far beyond now. It's my city, where? It's my city, yeah. It's my city, and I rap until I'm gone, yeah. It's my city, where? It's my city, yeah. It's my city, stand up, if you feel me, yeah.
Round here we throw our threes, and that's just how it be. Be fitted on my head and Adidas on my feet. Rep where I grew up at, where them kids shoot up at. All the drunks always threw up at, and them fiends always shoot up at. Police showing up, waiting to cuff a youngster. Hustlers hiding they work behind the dumpster. The wiser choose to stay in school, get their education up. Legal hustle working hard, lay low and caking up. Pastors pray for us, waiting on the Lord. Faithful that soon the streets no longer at war. West Indian influence, everybody islanders. Y'all gon' love my city, take a second just to ride with us. Well known for sports cause we built like that. But talking hard, best believe you get killed like that. Call you blood cause we famine, you don't need to be from C-Town. I'm just saying one love, we representing B-Town.
It's my city, I'm rapping until I'm gone. People in the streets, they hustle until it's dawn. Keep your spirits up, my family stands strong. Push it to the limit, we're taking it far beyond that. It's my city, where? It's my city, yeah. It's my city, and I rap until I'm gone, yeah. It's my city, where? It's my city, yeah. It's my city, stand up, if you feel me, yeah.
City full of colleges, that's where the problem is. Cause they can't separate the students from the brawler kids. Peep all the fitteds and the pins, we be rocking all the pride. When we talking, you can tell we from Boston. Sports, we been had it, and we too small for ratting. So whenever drama happens, nobody knows what happened. Kids with automatics, mamas fighting for peace. Crooked 5-0, just waiting to take a piece. Some nights you might not hear shots around the way. Some days in the park, little kids get to play. Other days, goons itching to make that shit spray. Thinking about they dead dogs, tears rolling down their face. Leave you dead without a trace, like they couldn't catch a case. Put in work in broad day, like they wouldn't catch a case. From a city where the hat proves which hood you with. And having the wrong rest in peace pin can get you hit. It's my city.
It's my city, I'm rapping until I'm gone. People in the streets, they hustle until it's dawn.
Yeah.
Keep your spirits up, my family stands strong. Push it to the limit, we're taking it far beyond that. It's my city,
Three's up.
It's my city,
Right here.
It's my city, and I rap it till I'm gone, yeah. It's my city, where? It's my city, yeah. It's my city, stand up, if you feel me, yeah.
I rap like no other, I'm a different type of brother. Best believe I'm from the beans. So what you say about the gutter? I'm the product of a single mother, fatherless. Home took the streets as my own, started calling it home. Can't help where I'm from, matter pain in my veins running through Hyde Park, kept me low-key with the thing. Dorchester heart made it hard to be a lame. I watch my closest homies fall like rain. It made me tough like them kids from Jamaica playing. Thought I was South End, I play no games. My past caused me pain, and a lot of it is blurry. My first ever Vic, I caught it in Roxbury. When you come through my city, no past and no flossing. Especially if you're whipping around in South Boston. Get acquainted to the sights and the sets. Don't forget to show every neighborhood they respect. It's my city.
It's my city, I'm rapping until I'm gone. People in the streets, they hustle until it's dawn.
Be good.
Keep your spirits up, my family stands strong.
Triple OG.
To the limit, we're taking it far beyond that.
They stay.
It's my city, where?
Where?
It's my city, rap it till I'm gone, yeah. It's my city, it's my city, yeah. It's my city, yeah. It's my city, I'm rapping it till I'm gone. People in the streets, they hustling till it's dawn. Keep your spirits up, my family stands strong. Push it to the limit, we're taking it far beyond that. It's my city, where? It's my city, here. It's my city, and I rap it till I'm gone, yeah. It's my city, where? It's my city, here. It's my city.
Yeah. I'd like to welcome y'all to Boston, Massachusetts. Weather's unpredictable and so ain't the people. Yeah, I know that it's summer, but that's another word out in Boston. One day it's too cold, the next it gets as humid as Austin. If you from the hood, your mama's cup is under the faucet, broke to the weekend. By then you gotta make a deposit, but back to the winter as cold and icy as the North Pole. MBTA cards beeping like we read Morse code. North faces and scars, not to mention the gloves. Whoever made Boston clearly forgot to mention the love. Cause December is the warmest that it gets in my town. 3 for the stripes, 2 guns and no one setting them down. A loyal ass people, be cautious who you letting around. What niggas kill for, it's clear dog, they setting they clout. So used to the anger, even in spring expect them to pout. The checks ain't no joke, it's smoke, best expect them to shout. And if you got dreams of leaving the scene, expect them to doubt. It's just how it is, welcome to the way that it's lived in the winter.
y'all, man.
Yeah, we miss you too, B.
Yeah, yo, out in Dallas, Texas, at the Women of the World Poetry Competition. That was a lot of fun. I'm back now, back on the couch.
Yeah, congrats, man, congrats on your. That's right. Congrats on your joint.
Today is also important for a few reasons.
Yeah, man. You know, one of the first reasons is it's the first year anniversary of our main man, Prince's death. So, you know, moment of silence for the boy for a second. But yeah, today we got my man Xavier right here in the mix. What's going on, brother? Right. Mr. Human Beat Bot. Tell us about it. What's going on?
So yeah, I'm a street performer in Boston. You know, I go out, just go out, entertain. You know, people like it because, you know, it's very different from, you know, what people, normally hear street performing. So.
Before we get into the surprise that is this human being, first of all, it's also National Poetry Month. So I hope you're doing your 30-30. If you need a writing prompt, the one I'm working on today is what are all the ways we go missing. Anyways, that aside, we're gonna get to Xavier, but before we actually get to see the live beast that is this human beatbox machine, we're gonna jump right into a video from him and then talk a little bit about him and then get to meet him. So let's just jump straight into that right now.
In the Wild Wild West, you'll be dead over there with a bullet in your chest. In the Wild Wild. Come on, bro, slow down. How are we feeling right now?
And that is time.
You want to hear trap music?
Go for it.
Bro, I'm the Kraken. Bro, I'm the Kraken. Bro, I'm the Kraken. cracking, bro. I'm the 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 bro. I'm the cracking. I'm the Kraken and I'm gonna hunt you down. I'm the Kraken.
And that is time. That is what we call time. Whenever you're ready. 3, 2, 1.
You got something to say? Why don't you say it to my face, 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 for you.
And that's time. That is what we call time.
Make some noise for the first battle of the night, guys.
Give it up, give it up. This is not easy, guys. This is not easy. Judges, how you guys doing? You guys doing all right?
Judges, you're gonna point to the right if you want State Street to win, and to the left if you want Tyler W. You guys ready? In 3, 2, 1. Tyler W takes it.
We move on to the next
Make some noise for
round.
State Street for killing it.
Tyler W may be beginning his road to becoming the champ. I don't know. Do you know, Kenny?
Yo, so you just saw a pretty dope video of my friend State Street. You probably seen him at State Street, downtown Crossing, anywhere in Boston, because he's a professional street performer, a professional competing beatboxer he's Boston-based, and we're fortunate enough to have him come and bless us today. So show some love to my man. State Street, how you feeling?
I'm alright, you know, I have to be on.
Word. Tell me about this video we just watched, because I'm feeling some kind of way about the fact that you didn't win that one. Tell me something about that.
Yeah, this video was it was filmed up in New York. It was the American Beatbox Championship.
All right.
You know, we have beatboxers, or they have beatboxers from you know, all over America. You know, we even have beatboxers from you know, over in Europe. You know, a couple you know, ones from Berlin. You know, it's like it's a you know, very big community. So, you know, we all come over to New York, you know, compete. It's, you know, mad fun. You know, everybody, you know, around.
Word.
Yeah. Everybody around.
That's dope. So how'd you fare in the overall competition?
In the overall competition, yeah, that was it right there. They do eliminations.
Yeah.
And everybody gets 1 minute elims.
Yeah.
And you have to make it past that elim. So the judges have to, you know, they like what your style, they like your style, they like, you know, like what you were doing, and they pick like the top 16, and those top 16 go on to battle. And I made the top 16.
Word.
Yeah.
Congratulations, yo.
Yeah.
Well, how long ago was this?
This was September of 2016.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're
September,
like,
November.
you're pretty
Yeah,
beastly
yeah.
right there.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of bass in your voice,
Yeah,
kid. I
A
can't
lot of
wait.
puberty, a lot of puberty.
So where you from?
Boston, Revere.
Revere?
Yeah,
Word. I used to go to
Yeah.
East End.
yeah.
Word. So how long you been into beatbox? Like, what got you there?
Beatboxing, I've been doing it for like 3.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what got me into it was, I was in high school. One of my friends, he beatboxed, and I heard it, and I was like, yo, like that's dope.
I
Like,
need that.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
that in my life, you know. So, I was like, yo, teach me how to do that, blah blah blah. And nobody like officially teaches you, but it's like, oh, what sounds he doing right there? You learn the different sounds that he's doing, and kind of throw it off to that.
Dope.
Yeah, yeah.
So who you looking at? Like, who's the cat to beat right now? In the beatbox world?
In the beatboxing community,
Yeah.
like, there's a lot.
Yeah?
There's a lot, yeah.
There's a lot of cats to beat. Who are your
Yeah.
eyes on right? Well, maybe not eyes on. I'm trying to take them out, but
For me personally, would be a UK beatboxer by the name of D-Lo.
Uh-huh.
His style is just like, it's insane.
Yeah.
They have a World Beatbox Championship, and he competed in the Worlds a couple years. They have it every 5 years.
yeah.
And I forget when the last one was. I think it was 2012. Don't quote me on that,
'Cause I was ready to.
I don't know the exact dates, but it was a couple years ago. And the next one is coming up next year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's about to be huge.
That's dope.
Beatboxers from all over the world. But yeah, currently my favorite beatboxers are D-Lo from the UK,
Uh-huh.
and there's another beatboxer from France by the name of FAB. He has a really hip hoppy style that I looked at it and I was like, whoa.
That's the cat I'm trying to get up there with.
So how old were you when I started beatboxing? 16.
Oh, you're 19.
Yeah.
Whoa! What was I doing at 19? Probably stuff I can't say here, right? Yeah.
Nah, we can't say that here.
Other than a whole bunch of nothing. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So wait, I had a question for you. So like I'm in slam poetry, and like I always talk to other people who aren't in slam poetry, and they're like, oh, like it feels like I'm on the outside of this world. And like as you're talking to me about beatbox, I'm like, tell me something I need to know,
Yeah.
so when I go to one, I don't look like I'm an outsider.
Yeah.
Like how can I fit in?
There's not really any easy way to fit in except to actually beatbox, but it's like
Done.
we like if you don't beatbox, it's like it's not the end of the world. It's like
Yeah.
you can still go vibe out with everybody. You know,
Yeah.
you can appreciate because it's music,
Word.
pretty much. So you can go appreciate the music. See all the different see what people have to offer.
Nice. Speaking of music, do you consider yourself hip hop?
I wouldn't want to stay strictly to hip hop.
Right.
I like to. Because I think if you stay like in one spot, it's a little bit stagnant. Because there's a
Right.
lot of people doing like one specific style.
Yeah.
So like I like to say I'm a combination of hip hop, trap, techno. I like to do please all.
You're a
please all
musician.
audiences. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Very versatile.
yeah.
Who are some of your big influences?
FAB one from the beatboxing.
Well, like in general, like as in the
general,
artist world, like think
Yeah, the industry.
Definitely. I don't know if you know Reeps One.
Say it again.
Reeps One,
Can't lie.
another beatboxer from the UK. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he's world famous.
Oh,
and
wow.
he's like dope. Like every one of his videos over 1 million views, and it's just like I would watch all these YouTube videos, and I'm like, this is like amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of YouTube, you've had some success
Yeah.
in the YouTube world. Tell me a little bit about that.
I have a couple videos. The one that you just saw from the American Championships.
Yeah.
And the channel that was filming that, the championship, they liked what I was doing and they wanted to have a shout out. So I did like a 3-minute shout out for them.
So they feature that.
Yeah.
I feel like didn't you bring
That's
some of those
what's
videos
up.
to us today?
Yeah.
Word.
It's set up,
Alright.
it's set
I'm
up.
ready. I'm ready to watch one of those actually.
Yeah, let's get it on.
Can we do that?
Hey, what's up? My name's State Street, and this is a big shout out for Swiss Beatbox, Paponi, all my bros over at Boston Beatbox. Shout out Boston Beatbox, all right.
drip music, drip, drip music, drip music, drip, drip music, drip music, drip, drip music, drip music, party, 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 party. Party.
Oh, how you say Boston? In
Boston.
Boston.
Shout out Boston beatbox.
Shout out to Boston beatbox.
Park the car in Harvard Yard, you know.
Say that's one, man. I like it.
It's not Danish, man.
Boston?
Boston.
Oh, and big shout out to Forrest. Love you, man.
So what was that? What was that craziness?
Yeah, so that was just a shout out that I did for that specific channel right there.
Yeah.
And the dudes filming me, they were from Switzerland.
Oh, they're from
Yeah,
Switzerland,
yeah.
and those are the people who were at the national.
Yeah.
Really influenced by you.
Yeah.
All right, so listen, I did beatbox in college. I was in an all-female a cappella group, and and I really need help because I want to learn more because I'm struggling. So this is the segment. This is part of the segment where State Street is going to teach us how to walk away with some tools to beatboxing. So maybe tell us a little bit about your technique, and then we're going to get right into it. Me and Bugs, we ready, right?
Telling you right now, trash. I'm garbage.
To learn beatboxing essentially is it's like you want to think of it as like talking pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody you want to start with 3 basic sounds, right? The bass drum, right? Hi-hat and
Are you breathing in?
yeah.
That, your neck did
Yeah.
the thing. Okay.
You want to say K, right? You say K.
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 But instead of saying K, go. Yeah.
You got something in your throat.
Yeah, you're trying to get that out.
All right, let's try it.
So, and you want to just take those sounds and you want to kind of string them together in a way that, you know, it sounds good, you know.
Okay.
You know, it sounds good, right?
All right, cool. Actually,
people don't really pick it up that quick. Like, you actually got it. Like,
I ain't gonna lie. I said I did it in college. I got a little bit behind.
See, I'm trash. I told you I couldn't even get it out.
You got it. Go ahead, Bugs. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah.
All right, let's try something. Give us something a little more.
Yeah, give me something
I think
easy.
we're ready to graduate.
All right.
I got asthma.
Try,
One more time. You took us to masters. We just graduated high school already.
yeah.
Well, how did you do that?
Yeah.
I kind of.
I can't. My
Yeah,
throat
I
is
don't.
dry.
I'm struggling. All right.
It's like I got sand in my throat.
Right? All right. So one more thing, and then we just gonna have to like you can put us out of our misery.
Yeah.
Because
facts,
he's
facts.
gonna give us a set in just a little bit. So we're gonna do what we can on this last graduation tip, and then we just gonna get into the third video so we can finally get to you and your set. Is that cool? All right. You ready, Bugs? We really gotta show them that. We gotta show him we know we know. Hey.
That's all lip, baby.
What's
I
up,
ain't
State?
got, I ain't got nothing else.
All right,
Yeah, we.
All right.
We want to bust a rhyme up in here, too, right?
to say. I don't.
I can't, son. My lips don't flop.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
They big that they just don't.
They just don't do the thing.
Yeah, facts. I spit all over my lips.
I'm done. You know what? Let's just get right into this
That's the
third
most
video.
beatbox I could do. With my lips. That's it.
Wait, actually, no. I want to go ahead.
Yeah, that was that old school snare that people used to do.
Don't make me think. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. So this was like the basketball hustle. We said we don't know how to play. We really came to take you out, let you know we're going to the championship this year. You said when's the next one? Doesn't matter. We there. We there. We there.
Yo, man.
Word.
All
So,
right,
can you tell us a little bit about this next video that we're gonna watch of you, and then we'll get into this.
This next video was it was for a different channel. It's a slightly smaller channel, but still it's a pretty big channel in the beatbox community. And it's just another shout out. You know, they came out to Boston. They were like, oh, you know, we know you have a group in Boston. We want to get you all, you know, together. You know, get you all a little publicity. And we were like, all right, we're there.
Wait, they came out to Boston to see you, or like?
Yeah.
You're just so humble and low key. You know, yeah, this group travel. Where are they from?
It was one guy. It's he's from New York, so it wasn't like too far.
Well, that's a
yeah.
boat bus. That's like 4.5 hours and $25 to come see you.
Man,
It's amazing.
you ever you know, did a competition outside the U.S. or you went to different?
No, I want to though.
Yeah.
This is next step up.
So where's the next competition?
The next competition for me that I'm going to is the Midwest competition. It's in they had it in Ohio last year, but they change it around like every year. So I think it's in Chicago this year.
Okay.
don't quote me on like anything, because I don't know.
2012,
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, so you know, that's my next competition that I have my eyes set on, and you know, it's not as big as the other competitions, so I'm definitely, you know, trying to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, and I also want to ask you some other do you do this full time now?
Yeah. Well, I don't beatbox, but I work. You know, I work mostly full time, but beatboxing is more like a hobby. But I want to turn it more into like a full time thing.
Yeah.
Because I see people beatboxing full time, you know, making a decent living, and I'm like, that looks attractive.
Yeah. You don't seem afraid of that.
So you don't even need headphones then.
Yeah, I'm the speaker.
That's right. You just speak
it.
instrument.
Boogs is ready. I swear she's gonna come back next week beatboxing on the show. This is gonna be amazing.
I'm gonna be beatboxing at work. They be like, yo, what are you doing? Be like, like.
I have one more question. Are you Caribbean?
No.
I made that up. All right, cool. I just be trying to make stretches. I'm like, just be West Indian so I can claim you as my cousin, put you on my taxes or something. I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna watch this video of the cats from New York who came down to watch you and give you a shout out on their YouTube channel and get to see some more of your magic happening. So let's get to that video. Let's get it.
Fuck with my reverse,
You give the 2 and the 1. 3, 2. Everybody up in here, just bounce, bounce, bounce. Everybody up in here, just bounce to the groove like. Just bounce to the rhythm, then we flow like this. Let's go. I came, I saw, I conquered, I bought, I came, I saw, I conquered, I bought, enter the bitches to the barrier. The record play and get your hand knocking. Time! Make some noise for Chung Bao. Tyler W in 3, 2, 1. How you guys doing tonight? I'm gonna take him down. Do you guys want to see that? Let's vibe to the beat like this. Oh, hey, look in my eyes, know that your heart that is your demise. It's getting close quick and your stomach gets sick and it all happened when she realized it to me. Hey, I removed my disguise. That's primal fear.
It's like the old day. Nobody told me what's okay, but I always did it my own way. Here we go.
Yo, we just got a quick lesson
That's
from our man
right.
Stay Street. If you were wise, you warmed up your vocal cords and got yourselves ready too. And now you can relax those because we are fortunate enough to get to watch this young man, this 19-year-old Boston-based professional street performance, professional competing, beatbox homie of ours, Stay Street.
This is a huge shout out to all my boys over at Boston Beatbox, my boy Dan Gonzalez, all my family. Yeah.
Silence.
For real, that was pretty amazing.
the reverse like.
Let's go. Why? Can you give us some like throwback 90s hip hop?
Boy, stop. Woo, Lord, have mercy.
Any 90s hip hop? You better work. Hey.
They call it Vegas. That's right.
Yo, you're so lit. You're so lit. Yeah. Can I ask you a few questions from here? Yo, what has B-Box done for you?
For me, personally, it's provided like a sort of like alternative income.
Yeah.
You know, because I can just go out and street perform, and you know, people like they never like heard a lot of what I'm doing, so they see it and it's like, oh whoa, like what are you doing, blah blah blah, and you take that out into a sorry, I'm like mad at
take a minute, take it whatever you need. Right.
But people see that and it's like, oh wow, like I like what you're doing, blah blah blah, and drop me $1, drop me a couple of years, and it's like it's definitely provided like if I didn't have money, I just go out and beatbox for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
What would you say to young people who are trying to chase that dream? Like you said, you're trying to go full time next year, and you're not afraid. What would you say to people your
definitely
age?
just like you just gotta hop into it.
Yeah.
There's not really a clean way to start beatboxing, but you just gotta like, just get in there.
I had to get him on my snap. He's about to get me like 1 million views.
We gotta be like best friends at this point. I'm so impressed. You better stop. You can't keep doing this to me. It's messed up at this point. So, well, first of all, thank you for being here, yo. We really
Definitely.
Definitely, bro.
So how can we find you? Where are you gonna be next, and what's your social media?
My Instagram is @StateStreet_BBX. That's one word, @StateStreet_BBX. My Facebook is Xavier State Street Burns, and my Snapchat is Illegal73 or Illegal72. My fault. That was my old one.
Where you gonna be next? When's the next time we can see you live? The next show you got?
Anytime you want to have me on,
Well, listen, if that's the case, I'll see you in 3 days.
Yeah, right.
I'll see you in 3 days. We'll see you back at the Hipstery headquarters.
Word, I'm there.
Word. Sounds good. Yo, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
As usual, thank you for everyone watching. We have a good time here.
Yeah, definitely. But let me clear my throat.
Okay. What's about to happen? I can't wait.
I ain't proposing to you, dog, all right?
What?
We ain't gonna do all that,
but,
all right? But listen, congratulations.
Oh.
Because you done won the world championship of the WOMPS competition.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you.
You did your damn thing.
I tried.
Because you was absent. But it's all right.
But yeah.
That's right. Yo, congratulations.
You be killing me, Books. Thank you, yo.
Y'all
As
know
always,
what it is. Always.
I'm Oompa,
I'm Bugs.
and this is Cut the Bullshit. Yeah, I saw that. You stood up, got excited.
It's for the gray. To Scott. What is? Trayvon Martin. All this craziness going on around the world. How about if things were different? Martin Luther King. What if hip hop never existed? Do you think there'd be as many people screaming out, stop snitching? What if Adam and Eve ain't eat the fruit? You think we'd be able to see the truth? Or what if Albert Einstein didn't think of the nuke? Or Smith & Wesson didn't teach us to shoot? Do you think there'd be as many plays made if there was no boost? Matter of fact, what if white men hung off a noose? Would it still be cool to say nigga? Or maybe we would make six figures? Or would we wanna be crackers? And all the whites would be rappers. What if Martin Luther King survived? You think FEMA's response to Katrina would have caused him to drop and die? I wonder what if and see what is. Stand back from the picture and ask yourself why? What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed the route to the road we on? I don't know. What if life wasn't all that you thought? What if? What if everything you knew was gone? What if? What if we switched the rights and wrongs? You think you changed your route to the road we on? Hold on.
Hey, what's up? My name's State Street, and this is a big shout out for Swiss Beatbox, Paponi, all my bros over at Boston Beatbox. Shout out Boston Beatbox, you know. All right. Drip, you zip, drip, drip, you zip, drip, you zip, drip, drip, you zip, drip, you zip, drip, drip, you zip, drip, you zip, like
Oh, how you say Boston? In
Boston.
Boston.
Shout out Boston Beatbox.
Shout out to Boston Beatbox.
Park the car in Harvard Yard, you know.
Yeah, say nice one, man. I like it.
It's not Danish, man.
Boston?
Boston.
Oh, and big shout out to Forsen. Love you, man. All right, we're there. It's cool. Yeah.
This is called a trippy bass. It's a sound I made up. Made up of 3 sounds, teeth lip roll, click roll, and vocalized sound like you're getting surprised, and then all together.
This is so exciting. I can't believe it's actually happening.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It all just happened so fast.
Yes. Yes, it did.
And the timing, it couldn't have been more...
Perfect.
Yes. I just can't keep this inside of me anymore. I want to show the world.
Why don't we show them right now?
This just feels so right. That looks fantastic.
We're always happy to help. Thanks for calling Bluehost.com.
Hey, who are you talking to, sweetie?
Oh, just a Bluehost tech helping me get my website off the ground.
Train experts available to every Bluehost customer 24/7. Sign up today.
I said the 3, y'all said the 2, and the 1, and 3! Yo, make some fucking noise right fucking now. Let's do this shit. Just flowing. Keep it going. Put a little and what swing on it. Making usage of the useless. Yo, I heard you like that trap music, that fucking trap music. Heard you like that trap music, that fucking trap music. Heard you like that trap music, that fucking trap music. Heard you like that trap music. Let's get weird. Yo, I heard you like that trap music. Dip, I dip, I dip, I dip. I heard you like that trap music. Heard you like that trap music, that fucking. Keep it going for Napalm, everybody. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Come on. Yeah. Next up to the stage, we have the two-time German Meister.
This just feels so right. That looks fantastic.
We're always happy to help. Thanks for calling Bluehost.com.
Train experts available to every Bluehost customer 24/7. Sign up today.
You should have joined the it drop, 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 drop. Okay.
I'm trying to fight my passion. Underestimate my situation. Without doubting I'm of myself anymore.
Hi, Donnie.
You didn't understand my sensation. Fell in love with music long before with you. Do I really have to choose? I got enough about. But you want me to stop. Can't enough of you. I'm giving up for.
Ready? Fucking cable. Ready, ready. Dankeschön. Make some noise, make some noise. Maximum de bruit, s'il vous plaît. And the end. I say the Dre, you say the toe and the end. It's on first in 3 minutes. In 3, 2, beatbox. Everybody freeze.
I made pancakes, but you said you didn't eat them. Now toys and beat them. That girl is the real crowd pleaser. Swallow long swim snow beats. Jump full in the night, you know keys. Lisa cats watch you fall slowly. That girl still trying to get even. Pancakes mad for whatever reason. Smoke in the air, then shrinking. They lose it when toys and drop that beat, yo. When I wake up, I'm a loop station. I'm fucking my girlfriend, and I don't care where. I'll be fucking my girlfriend. Yeah, Monday, fucking my girlfriend. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, eating pancakes Saturday, from Sunday. Wait, take it to the next level. Next level, come on, take it to the next level. Next level, come on, take it to the next level. Blow it down, make it drop on the seat. Yo, high up words in it, you need that green. Forever be, cause I keep it that real. I'ma spit some fire and say what I feel. Yeah, we blow it up, take it to the next level. We are both on fire, make it burn like the devil. Call it a bomb, it pops like hell. We be kicking and getting the party started right now. Everybody sit here, out is the bad. When I need no stress, this is off the sadness. It's who's gonna help me today. With this speed, I'ma fly my way. With this speed, I'ma rap this mic. With this rap, I'ma rap all night. I'ma scream for you and feel the glow. Did you know that I am a pro?
Yes, come on. Belgium, you have 3 minutes going. Pancake, it's on you. I say the trois, you say the deux, in trois. of vandalism here. Something real, something you feel. Turning me back to the old me. Rock my real, top my real. Give you respect like the old. Cheers, locking me down like the poor. This week, never be lonely. Protecting my goal like a goalie. Be only one next to me, ride me the oh man. We got the empire mind. Nobody sitting right. Love it for real. Should not forever be right. Never been by my side. Love it for real. Get the haircut to the stupid. I suck you up. People be back there. I'm dropping the drop. People touching the toes. Feeling the throne. Kind of view, but they call it the cup. Yes? With the response. Torches, you got 3 minutes. I said the Trey, you said the 9. If you're ready for this, round 2, it's Trey.